I want to thank everybody for stopping back. I wanted to thank everybody for the response the other day on my video for subscribers. Thanks to that and to FV ordinance, I actually needed 10 or 11 people. I ended up with 16. Worked out great. I want to thank all you guys that jumped off of his live there and subscribed to my channel. I tried to subscribe back to everybody on their sites to let them know that you know, seen they subscribed and I subscribed to them. If I missed anybody, please jump back in there and say something to me, and I'll make sure I subscribe to you. I don't care if you sing opera or you play the ukulele. Say hello, and I'll subscribe to you. Yeah, I'm sitting here all day walking around this table full of Mossbergs, trying to think how to make this sound interesting. And it's just an old table full of old Mossbergs, Mossberg 500s. Well, there's Western Field 550s and New Haven 600s in there too, but they're all Mossbergs. There's no Maverick 88s. There's some parts off of Maverick 88, probably in one of them. But yeah, the best story on that whole table of guns is they were all free. I do not have a dime in any gun on that table. Matter of fact, them and the other 30 in the other room all made me money over the years. Started back in the way before the internet, back in the 80s. Everybody had a Mossberg 500 with a broken safety. Well, I started fixing them for people. I had a deal. I'd fix your safety or buy your gun for $75. So you could sell me your shotgun with a broken safety for 75 bucks, or I'd buy it off of you for 75 bucks. Ended up, I bought one off a man from a sportsman's club. Everybody in that sportsman's club must have had a broken Mossberg 500. Next thing you know, I had 15, 20 of them. I'd buy them, fix the safety, and sell them for $150, $175. Then the internet come along, and I realized I could tear apart a Mossberg 500 and make twice what the gun was worth. So I tore them all apart, but maybe one or two, like that third chrome one down there with the heat shield on it. But anyway, every gun here probably had 2 or 3 different barrels, a couple different stocks over the years. What I did first, I took every gun I had. I sold every barrel, every trigger, everything I could sell off every one of them. I put the receivers, right? If they were nice, I wrapped them up. If they were scratched up, I just threw them in the box. Had a big old box of receivers. So my FFL, the old guy, I worked around his house and put a roof on his garage. He never charged me for FFLs, so it was no big deal to buy a brand new gun or buy a gun off a gun broker and no FL fee. Now it's 35 bucks, But I was buying whole guns. I was buying parts kits. I was buying people's broken guns and selling them back to other people. I figured out that for every Mossberg 500 you bought, you could double your money at least. So what I did, every time I'd buy a bunch of parts, I'd go on eBay, and in a month I'd spend $2,000 on parts and parts kits. And then I'd resell them on eBay. But every time I did that, I rebuilt one of my receivers. Until now, I just finished the last one, which is that gun clear down on the end. That's got the terrible looking receiver on it. But over the course of 30 years, I accumulated all these guns more or less free. Every time I'd buy, I'd have maybe 4 or 5 auctions coming in a week. Every time they'd get here, I'd list them on eBay for sale. You had to watch. You didn't want to list a bunch of something and flood the market, so you'd only have like one new trigger, one old trigger. There was only a few parts that were different on them. Most all the parts interchanged. And then it went from everybody wanting the new barrels with the chokes to people wanting the old vintage barrels without the warnings. So like over the years, the tide shifted on how you could buy and sell them and make money. But over the years, I made money on all these guns. So I don't see how any of these could have cost me anything. They were they were all free plus made me money. The only one I think that I didn't buy sell parts of a lot was that third one, that one with the pulley choke there. That's the old single slide bar on the pump. That one was back before they had serial numbers. I redid it as period correct as I could. I didn't really want a poly choke barrel, but all of a sudden them kind of come back into style, so that's what I ended up putting on it. Jewel receiver. It's pretty much all period correct. And you can see no serial number on it anywhere. Usually they're on this side, either right here or right here. Like I say, over the years of buying and selling, if I spent $200, I made $400. It was unbelievable. I went to I'm trying to think of the name of the place. It wasn't Corbella's or anything like that, but it was one of those outdoor sporting places. Had Mossberg 500s on sale. They would only sell you 4. If you bought 5, you had to fill out special paperwork. So I bought 4. I took my wife there to buy 4, and I think my oldest daughter bought 4. So I bought like 12 brand new shotguns, tore them all apart, sold all the parts, doubled the money, and over the years rebuilt them. I think one of them's at next to the last one down there. That was a brand new gun. I bought that brand new. Took it completely apart. It was I think it was an Acrochoke barrel, 28-inch with wooden furniture, sort of like that blonde chrome furniture. That was a newer style. Them ones took a different trigger too. These ones right here. This light's terrible. But you can see that's all pretty much brand new receiver. And the bolts didn't sell good. So pretty much they all got brand new bolts in them. You had the barrel, the wood, the mag tube and spring and follower, the trigger guard was about your biggest sellers. What would happen with these? One, the safety would break because they were plastic. Now all these have steel safeties except for one. I usually buy these bullseye safeties that were on the old ones. They call that a bullseye safety. It's actually metal. I'm actually going to pull this barrel off of this gun and steal that sled barrel off that one down the end of the table and put on it. I was looking at that today. This is a Parkerized receiver. And we took the mag tube and sandblasted it. And I soaked it for a couple of days in oil. That's been 15 years ago. It still hasn't rusted. You notice how all my guns seem to have a certain shine to them. It's all because of that old red rag right there. That red rag has made me more money than you could ever imagine. That's some kind of oil mix-up my buddy used to make me in the mill. Hang on a minute. Some kind of mixture my buddy made me in the mill, and he would take in the rag bags and get pieces of sweatshirt and actually soak it in that oil for me. He's been retired 10 years. I'm still using one of them rags. But my buddies that bought and sold guns when they were around, they'd bring a gun in and say, hey, give it the red rag treatment. And while we sat there and bullshitted, I'd wipe it down for about 5 minutes with that red rag. And you could just tell the difference when they left how much shinier that gun looked. And if you notice, most of mine do too. That second one there, I got all kind of help from my buddies for using that old furniture on that. This gun was 100% brand new, and I used that old varnished, kind of war-looking furniture on it. I kind of liked it myself. I thought it gave it character. Forgot to open that first, sorry. As you can see, that was a brand new receiver. Like I say, you could literally go to Walmart, and buy one, take it apart, and double your money. I have Winchester receivers the same way. The Winchesters, they were a little more expensive, but the parts were too, so they equaled out about the same. But the Mossberg sold faster. You had the triggers on a Mossberg that got shaky. You could wiggle them. If your trigger wiggled there too much, your bolt wouldn't lock, your gun wouldn't shoot. So the triggers sold. The furniture always seemed to sell good on it, especially after my red rag treatment. The mag tubes, the pump arms, I always made sure you see them all have tubes in the pump arms, except for the end one has the little pins like the Maverick. You always wanted to buy one that had that tube because that's an extra $65 right there. But if you want to have a large collection of guns, that's the way you got to do it. And I got them now where I'll probably never take them apart again. I actually was looking online at buying a few more kits and maybe selling some, but at my age and not feeling good, I think I might just pass on it. Oh, and man, old FV ordnance. That was a low blow the other day, buddy, with that. I fallen and I can't get up shit. What the hell? I was speechless. I thought, oh man, he's kicking a man when he's down. Something in the conversation there. Can't remember how it come out that way, but a lot of times by the time you read what I say, it's a couple subjects away. Excuse me. A couple of subjects away, and you really can't remember what the question was, you know? Them lives are kind of funny, but I guess you got to get them in, huh? That one with the scope there with all the rags on it. I had that made for turkey shooting. That chamber goes from 710 to 640 without a forcing cone in. You can see how thick that is. Never brought no meat on, but then it had to see through sights because some places you weren't allowed to shoot a scope. If you had a scope, they made you cover it up, so a lot of times I just put caps on it. I never did win no meat with it. And one just see chrome. Caught up in my wife's hose here. That was in there. The ones you see chrome there, the receivers were just too bad to do anything with. Once in Mossberg gets scratched up to me, they've had it. I think I got maybe one with a scratch on it, other than this beat up one down here. Trying to work my way down to around 50 feet of hose from that darn machine over there. That one kind of looks like it fell on a motorcycle chain or something while they were riding down the road. I'm going to steal the barrel off of that and put it on that one up. The first one. Yeah, I gotta get these wiped off, put back. I gotta do this about 3 more times. I think that's the only video I'm gonna make on the Mossberg. So, like I say, you get a wiggly safety, or your safety, or wiggly trigger, or the safety will break off. It's about the only 2 things that really go bad on it. People just like the different barrels and stocks and stuff, I guess, but they always were good sellers. That's a nice piece there too. That was a brand new gun I brought home from the store and tore apart. There's like 3 or 4 different generations of wood there. I still like that old varnish one the best. Everybody said I was nuts. Hey, there he is. No. What are you doing, buddy? Huh? I call him Mauser now, but he charges me $1 every time I say it. I gotta put $1 toward his treats every time I say Mauser. Oh, he just made $2. Alright, well, I'm gonna get the hell off here. That machine's probably killing everybody. Like again, I want to thank everybody for subscribing. If I haven't got back to you, I will. You'll definitely see me on the channels. If I make a remark that don't make no sense, hey, I'm just trying to give you some comments. So I know it all counts, and we all got to help each other. I sure do appreciate the help. Seems like we're kind of building like a little community. Sort of the feeling I get. Alright, hey, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks everybody for sticking around. You all have a good evening.